If you are currently a flipper, I can turn you into a multi-millionaire overnight. Listen, I started my career out fresh from prison into flipping. I flipped one house. I made $53,000 off that one house. My second flip turned into new construction. And I am so thankful for that because new construction is 1,000 times better than flipping. I flipped one house, I learned it, and I got directly into new construction, which changed my life tremendously. There's 5 key factors that new construction favors over flipping. I'm gonna teach you those 5 factors right now. Factor number 1, and probably the most important factor that new construction has over flipping, higher profit margins. Flippers average $50,000 to $100,000 per flip, right? We can build new construction and consistently get 6-figure checks each and every deal. Not to mention, so much easier, way more systematized, and the scalability of it. But we'll talk about that later. We can reach higher profit margins with new construction because we're getting rid of the entire old house and building a big, beautiful, more square footage house. So you're able to get that value add from highest and best use of that property. We demolish it and we turn it into this big, badass house. That increases our profit margin tremendously. Flipping, what are you gonna do? Make it nice, put some new countertops, new floor, paint, blah, blah, blah. It's still the same square footage. Or maybe you pop the top or blow out the back. Either way, you're not gonna get the same price that I'm gonna sell a brand new construction home for on that exact same lot. So that's factor number 1. Higher profit margins, probably the most important factor. I know you love higher profits. I know I love higher profits. More money's more money. Factor number 2, we talked a little bit about it, scalability. It is extremely difficult to scale up and make lots of money, millions and millions of dollars in flipping. There's not one brand name national company that has achieved this. There's many, many, many home builders that have achieved billions and billions in value from building homes. Tell me why that is. It's because it's impossible to scale flipping because there's so much unknowns. You rip out one wall, next thing you got to know, you got to replace all the electrical because it's not up to code. Then you got to replace all the plumbing because it's not up to code. Now you got to cut up the whole house, all the floors, the foundation. You got to tunnel underneath. You got to change all the cast iron to PVC. It's a pain in the ass, and you can't scale it out because you don't know what you have to do until you get in there and tear it up and figure it out. That is a horrible, horrible thing that you have to deal with flipping. New construction, what do? You rip out everything old and you put everything in brand new, from the taps for the city sewer and water all the way into the new home. Everything's brand new. When you sell the home, the realtor is not going to eat your lunch and say, hey, what, you didn't change the plumbing underneath the house. You flipped the house, but you didn't change the plumbing underneath. Well, I changed everything else. Well, you didn't change the plumbing underneath. We're going to need to get this test, and then they're going to make you do a $30,000 tunnel and replace all the cast iron, and it's a pain in the ass. Trust me, I've done it. I've been there. I hated it. I still do multi-million-dollar flips, and every single one I do, I'm like, fuck, why did I do this? Why did I not just build new construction like I always do? But whatever. It falls in my lap, and I'm like, hey, I can make a few $100,000 on it, so I do it, and then I hate it afterward. New construction is the way to go. I promise you, once you go new construction, you will never go back to flipping. Factor number 3, the market demand is so much more for a new construction house than it is for a flip house. Nobody wants to buy an old home with cosmetic touch-ups. You don't, I don't. Would you rather live in a 1930s house with some lipstick on a pig and some fresh paint? Or would you rather live in a 2024 brand new from the ground up? You know everything is brand new, from the lumber to the foundation to the pipes to the wires. You know it's all brand new. It's just like going to get a car. You're going to go get a 1930s Ford, or you want a 2024 Ford? How do you think the reliability is going to be on the house and the car, right? You want 2024. So the market demand, people are lining up to buy new construction homes. The people aren't lining up to buy flips. Only the people that have to buy a flip and can only get into a flip and can't afford a new construction home are stuck buying those flips. Trust me, the market demand is so much bigger in new construction than it is flipping. So please, get out of flipping and get into new construction as fast as you can. All right, on to factor number 4. We talked about this briefly, but it is extremely important. New construction, you have control over the entire process. Everything, because you're ripping it all out and you're building everything brand new. It's processes, it's systematized, it's a checklist, right? It's plumbing, foundation, framing, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, sheetrock, paint. I mean, it's just boom, 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 boom. The scalability of that is simple, and you control each and every process of it. With flipping, you don't control the process because you don't know what the hell you're getting into because you have so many unknowns, right? You rip open this, you didn't put in the budget, you had to change the cast iron out. So now you're negative 15,000 because you just replaced the yard line. It's all cast iron, it's all fucked up. It's got shit all in it, right? It's horrible. You don't want to deal with that. You want to control every piece of the process, and you want to have control. You don't want to go in there with unknowns, not having control, and not accounting for it on the budget. So that is one huge, huge benefit over new construction, over flipping. I love it because I can send my guys in. I don't even have to be there. It's a lot less daycare, a lot less watching and babysitting everybody. And you don't got to be on the property because you know it's just step, 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 step. So remember that one. You have control over their entire process in new construction, and flipping, you ain't got no control except for the things that you can see. All right, on to factor number 5. Something that you guys should actually think about is brand building. It's extremely hard to build a brand with flipping because you're buying a home and remodeling it, so there's no consistent theme to your houses, right? I started out building contemporary modern homes. When people drive by my homes, they're like, hey, that's a Crutchfield custom home. They know what it is, they can tell what it is because I designed it. You don't design the homes that you're flipping. You just buy an old house and fix it up the best that you can do. So there's no brand awareness that you can build there, so there's really no company that you can build. Custom homes, you can have your flavor and other builders can have their own. Some might use brick all the time, red brick, that's their style. You pass by it, you're like, oh, that's the red brick builder, right? You pass by my super modern, dope, contemporary houses, you're like, oh, that's a Crutchfield custom home. You pass by this other builder and you're like, oh, that's that shitty builder, right? You know the builds. So a lot of people don't think about that when they get into this, but it is extremely important because you are building a reputation. You're building a name in your community. If you're just flipping, you're not really getting that reputation. You're not building a name for yourself. You want to build that name. You want to get brand awareness, and you want to get popular and popular and popular for your company so your homes will start flying off the shelves, right? That's the name of the game. You want to create the brand, and people seek out that brand. They say, I want a Crutchfield custom home because those are the dopest homes in the city. So please don't forget about that. Think about that when you're building your name, when you're starting your name, building your name, and building your company. So remember, flipping's for the birds. Get into new construction. You'll become a multi-millionaire like that. Now, guys, I hope you like those 5 factors. If you are currently a flipper wanting to get into new construction, click the link below. We've helped lots of flippers make 6 to 7 figure profits in new construction. So go ahead and click that link. That link's for you. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll get notified every Friday when we're dropping a video, because we drop them every single Friday. So stay tuned for those.